Hi there. Okay. Hello. It's fantastic to be here with you on this Wednesday Wisdom with Devon. I said it last week. It was such a tongue twister. The Wednesday Wisdom with me, Devon, and I am very excited to share today's topic with you. So, we're going to talk about the physical body and the ways that our bodies speak to us to let us know that our current way of doing life isn't working for them. Yeah. So we'll talk about some of the common symptoms that many sensitive folks experience when things like burnout and anxiety and overthinking are rearing their ugly heads, because it's not just, you know, the emotions or the mind or these other parts of us that are experiencing these things. It very much plays out in our bodies. So talk about that, and then I'll share 3 ways that you can begin to find relief no matter what the physical ailment or symptom is that you're experiencing. These 3 ways will support anything that you're experiencing, and will help you to begin to build resilience in your physical body so that you can finally have your energy and your vitality and your clarity back, because life is too freaking short to not have those things. So I invite you just to kind of like tune into your body. Yeah, like it's this thing that we're living in and we walk around in all day. And yet, how many of us actually really pause to connect and listen and even ask, how are you doing? What's going on in there? Yeah. So just kind of tuning in. And how is your body? Do you feel tired? Do you feel depleted? Do you feel grounded? Do you feel energized? Are there areas of sensation right now? Perhaps areas of lightness, areas of tightness, maybe some aches. Just kind of noticing, is your breath shallow? Oh, is it deep? Just listen, tuning in. Things like digestive problems and hormonal imbalances, headaches, backaches, skin problems, constant exhaustion. These are things that so many sensitive folks have in common. I hear them from literally all of my clients. I've experienced all of these as well. And these are just some of the ways that our body speaks to us and lets us know that the way that we're currently doing things isn't working. Right. So it's these like kind of these little warnings, these little messages, these little cues, these ways of letting us know that the current status quo is not working. It is not serving the physical body. It is not creating an environment for it to thrive and function optimally. And we can argue like functioning optimally and thriving are two different things, right? Like optimal function is just like it's like humming along, it's doing the thing it needs to do. And like thriving is like, I feel freaking great. I wake up in the morning and I feel energized and clear and ready to go. Right? How do you feel when you wake up in the morning? Share with me. So when we're having these different things come up, these symptoms, and I like to call symptoms messengers because that's exactly what they are. It is a cue to us that the current status quo isn't working. It's not working. So let's just kind of like set ourselves up here, right? For this discussion. I'd love to offer you these kind of 3 things. Can we accept these 3 things about our bodies? One is that the body doesn't just up and decide to start like misbehaving out of the blue for no reason. Okay. So the body doesn't just decide one day, like, you know what? Things are going so great. I'm going to start having headaches. I'm going to mess with your period. I'm going to make sure that your digestive system just doesn't want to work today. Make sure that there's like constipation and pain. I'm going to make sure your back hurts, right? Like, no, it's a cumulative compounding effect. So the body doesn't just up and decide to start misbehaving. That's the first premise I want us to accept. The second premise I invite us to accept is that our bodies are always on our side and always have our best interests in mind. Always, always have our best interests in mind. They want us to survive. They are designed to live, to survive, to be very resilient creations. Okay. And then the third premise is that they're working hard. They're working hard every single second of the day for us. Every single second. Like receiving through the senses, taking care of like just regular housekeeping stuff inside. If you were to live in a bubble, there's still housekeeping that needs to take place. The body still is producing different toxins that it needs to take care of. There's death of cells that's taking place and birth of cells and all of this stuff that is just like mind-blowingly amazing. So it's working really hard. And like I said, the body speaks to us through sensations and symptoms. These are messages. And problem is we've gotten really good at overriding these cues and these messages, really good at it. We've gotten really good at pathologizing these messages, these symptoms and these sensations. So then we end up fixating on a symptom and trying to diagnose it and label it and pathologizing it, meaning to make it something bad, right? Make it a thing. So then we're like fixating and we want to fix it right away. And we start throwing different cures at it. And that's just not going to bring about the wholeness that we deserve and that I imagine we desire. I'm not going to speak for you. I imagine you desire this sense of wholeness and not this very cut up, reductionist, like compartmentalized way of viewing yourself. And so while our individual specific symptoms can offer us guidance on what specifically is out of alignment in our lives, at the end of the day, it's all connected to the same twofold root cause. Like I was saying, whether it is headaches, digestive issues, backaches, whatever it is, it's all part of the same exact twofold root cause. So when we can let go of trying to diagnose and treat symptoms and like play whack-a-mole with these things and get really upset at our bodies and think like, what are you doing, body? You're failing me, right? And then we like take an herb for anxiety and try this crazy diet to clear our skin and never actually address the root cause. And so this twofold root cause is the same thing that is to blame for exhaustion, for why life feels so hard being a sensitive person, why we feel like there's something wrong with us all the time. And it is, are you ready? This is it. I've shared it before. I'm going to just keep sharing it forever and ever and ever. I've joked with my husband, I'm going to tattoo it to my forehead, pop it on my tombstone. Like, this is it. All right. This twofold root cause for these body symptoms, for the anxiety, the overthinking, the people pleasing, the burnout, all of it is unprocessed and unacknowledged shame and a weak foundation of self-care, specifically self-care that is aligned with nature's rhythms and addresses the 5 elements of your being. So when we address this root, we support the body in finding balance and wholeness. We can ditch those symptoms. And we also find wholeness and relief for the other 4 elements of our being, that are emotions and energy, our mind, our connection with nature and sense of spirit, and our relationships and social roles. So I want to share with you these 3 ways that you can begin to support your body immediately, regardless of what specific symptoms you're experiencing. Like, doesn't matter. So these 3 ways involve aligning with nature's rhythms. And this is so important, because this is our natural way of being. This is how we're supposed to live. This is how we are meant to be. The body likes regularity, rhythm, routine, just as everything in life and in nature and every living thing has a regular rhythm. You know, the sun rises and sets, in breath, out breath, high tide, low tide, seasons flow, heartbeats, like all of these things. So begin to get in the practice of letting your body have a consistent schedule and routine to increase its feelings of safety. Yeah. Increasing this sense of predictability and safety so that it can be given the space and the permission to function, not just optimally, but to also thrive. Okay. So here's 3 really powerful ways. Again, I don't care. I care. Maybe that's not the right word. I care about the specific symptoms you're experiencing. I care about the pain and the angst that you're experiencing. And I've been there, and I invite you, because if you're anything like me, it was this quest of like fixating on this thing. I have to fix my period. I'm going to throw this herb and this thing and that thing. I'm getting so fixated on that. So I invite you to just toss that out the window. And no matter what you are experiencing in the body or the mind or the emotions for that matter, but we're talking about the body today, here are 3 ways that you can begin to implement immediately and find some relief with consistency. So working with these things consistently, and magic will unfold. So the first is having a regular sleep and wake schedule. And again, I'm going to repeat myself. I don't care if it is headaches, backaches, digestive problems, whatever it is. These are the ways. So having a regular sleep and wake schedule. Yeah. So this is you honoring the rhythms of the day and the rhythms of your body, and the way that the body is designed to mirror that with the ways that it has various hormone releases at different times of day. It's got rhythms for digestion and healing and housekeeping, and all of that is so tied into the day's rhythms and our sleep and wake cycle and schedule, and keeping that very regular. And so this means, yes, keeping it on weekends means, yes, it's just, it is what it is. We keep it and we honor it. The sun rises and sets at the same time. It's not like, you know what, today I'm going to do it 5 hours later because it's time to party. Like, it doesn't do that. The second is having regular eating times. Again, increasing that sense of safety and trust and predictability so that the body can be like, oh, okay, I'm good. I'm getting my nourishment. I know I'm going to have my 3 meals per day around the same time. And then a step further is letting your main meal be taken at midday. And so this is when the energy of the day is at its peak, right? The energy of the day is like really at its peak. The sun is highest. And this helps to ensure that optimal digestion can take place, because digestion is also this kind of fiery, high energy event. And we can't turn this beautiful food into healing in our bodies unless we're actually digesting it, right? So it doesn't matter if we're eating all this wonderful stuff. If we're not digesting it, it really makes no difference. And the third and final thing, there's so many more, but for today, I picked my 3 favorites. The third and final one is to adjust your lifestyle with the flow of the seasons, rather than keeping everything the same all the time, right? Allowing yourself, just as nature does, to have periods of rest and action and expansion and contraction and everything else in between. And so adjusting your lifestyle accordingly, your activities, your socializing, how you're moving, how you're eating, rather than going for this like static sameness at all times. So there you have it, my friends. There you have it. I would love to hear how your body is speaking with you. What symptoms or messengers do you regularly experience? And what do you feel is the true need underneath that? What do you feel that your body is trying to tell you by sharing this symptom, this sensation with you? All right. And so these are some of the things that I teach in my program, the InnerSpark Method, which, yes, is open for enrollment. There are spaces, and one of them could be yours. The InnerSpark Method is for sensitive, deep feelers who are ready. They're ready to ditch burnout, anxiety, overthinking, and poor health. And they've probably tried the things, they feel overwhelmed, they don't know where to go, what to do, how to start. It's become a very compartmentalized, frustrating experience, and they just want a system They want to understand and address the root cause of why they feel the way that they're feeling. And they want to create a new foundation for their lives so that they can finally thrive, right? Not just optimally function, but thrive in body, mind, and spirit for life by building this whole new foundation. And it's a whole person trauma-informed system that lets this process be easy and enjoyable and deep and sustainable and meaningful so that it's really long-term. And you're making yourself, burnout proof and immune to things like anxiety and overthinking and health problems so that when they do arise, they're not as hard-hitting, as frequent. So learn more at theinnersparkmethod.com and reach out to me and let's chat and see if this is a good fit for you. And if not, I'm happy to point you in the direction of something else that I feel would be better. So that's what I have for today. Share with me. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Mwah.